Welcome to BizWire. I'm Joseph Nordstrom in Beijing. China boasts the second largest economy in the world and will likely soon overtake the United States. And China watchers have been looking closely as to how and when China will start to assert itself more on the world stage. Many in the West have been hoping China would take a more definitive stand against its ally North Korea, with whom China is not happy with, but abandonment, as some have called for, is not likely in the cards. South Korea's defense minister has confirmed that Pyongyang has moved a missile that has considerable range to its east coast, but said there were no signs that North Korea was preparing for a full-scale conflict. North Korea's military also announced it had been authorized to attack the U.S. using smaller, lighter, and diversified nuclear weapons. Kim Jong-un has vowed to restart the country's nuclear program, has declared the near 60-year-old armistice between his country and South Korea as void, and in his latest provocation has prevented workers from the South from entering the jointly owned Kaesong Industrial Park, which was once a symbol of hopeful reconciliation. After missile testing in December, Beijing moved to limit trade between the two countries, and it may go further this time, but not as strongly as many in the West would like. China did express support for a shared economic zone on the North Korean border, signaling the ruling Communist Party wants to maintain ties even as it's unhappy with Kim Jong-un's efforts to destabilize the region. Vice Commerce Minister Chen Jian said that work at the economic zone in Rason is proceeding smoothly, and he's optimistic about its future. Chen's comments may indicate China's continued economic backing for North Korea, even as leaders support tighter United Nations sanctions after Kim's regime detonated a nuclear device in February. Editorials in Chinese state-run media criticizing Pyongyang had fueled speculation that new leaders under President Xi Jinping may be scaling back support. Feng Xiuyu, a professor of Korean studies at Fudan University, said some academics believe China should abandon North Korea, which he says symbolizes that Chinese scholars are more free than before, but it doesn't reflect voices within the government. Deng Yuwen, deputy editor of the Study Times, the journal of the Central Party School, wrote an opinion piece published February 27th in the Financial Times saying China should abandon North Korea, but Deng was suspended indefinitely from his job over the article. North Korea's economy is about 1/40th the size of that of South Korea's and is reliant on China for diplomatic and economic support. Gong Keyu, a researcher at the Shanghai Institute of International Studies, said for China, there is a common understanding that policy toward North Korea needs to be adjusted, but not as extreme as total abandonment. According to the Council on Foreign Relations, China provides 90% of North Korea's energy imports, 80% of its consumer goods, and 45% of its food. If China suddenly decided to cut its ties to its mercurial neighbor, North Korea would almost certainly collapse. Beijing has been pushing Pyongyang to adopt Chinese-style economic reforms, as this would enable North Korea to wean itself off of Chinese support and become more stable, which is what Beijing wants more than anything from its precocious neighbor.